Hello and welcome, I'm Raziel, and today we are looking at the Crown. And why would you collect them? Now, the Crown is, of course, Britain and the Commonwealth in dystopian age. So, why should you collect them? Well, one thing I do like about the Crown is the law, okay? So, where almost every faction is technologically advanced with aid from maybe some extraterrestrial means such as the Sultanate and the Order, and maybe, the Enlightened might have some connection with the Hex, maybe not, but there is most of them have become more advanced with, their designs and their weaponry. The Pax Britannica, the Crown, the Commonwealth, unfortunately has decided not to go down this route, which is kind of cool because it makes them the underdog. Even though they're a very scrappy underdog, they are the underdog nonetheless. And other parts of the law as well, there's a lot more mysticism as well. I mean, we have the magic of the Hex, but it is an extraterrestrial entity. You have the Order as well. Again, it's pan-dimensional. So, well, those are pan-dimensional, there is a bit of mysticism within Britannica. In Britannia, I should say, and we know this with the Rani Nimue being a reincarnation of a lady in the lake, whereas also you have the Arthurian knights as well, knights who may also be reincarnation. So there is some mysticism and supernatural abilities there, which aren't extraterrestrial, but actually very terrestrial, which is really cool, to be honest with you. I love this sort of stuff. Of course, as well, there is the multiple areas which are the Crown. You have Canada, India, South Africa, Australia, and of course Britain. Well, United Kingdom of Great Britain, which covers England, Scotland, and Wales, and Ireland. So with that all said, there is a far deep lore in here, which is kind of cool. And now, what's a game like Dystopian Wars or Wild West Exodus if it's the models? So let's start with Dystopian Wars, because that is where they're most prominent. And of course you have a fair few boxes, special battle fleets, squadrons, vanguards, etc, etc. You have the Gloriana battle fleet, which is really cool, which includes the massive big ship, Gloriana, of course, which is what it always is. The Gloriana class dreadnought, which is a massively big ship, kind of reminds me of the Battlefleet Gothic Imperial ships. Okay, the big battle barges. That's what it reminds me of. It's got that very imperialistic look to it, but instead of an eagle at the front, it's a horse, which looks cool, and it gives you various, various ways to make that. You have optional cruisers, so there's a fair amount in there. So what you get is one Gloriana Dreadnought, which can be built as Camelot or Adventurer, 2 Prydain War Rotors, 2 Tintagel Battle Rotors, 4 Cruisers, which can be built as Albion or Bedivere, 4 Caliban Frigates, Saxon Scout Rotors, and a Quick Start Booklet, which is basically like a little codex, just in case anyone's wondering. So yeah, you have a fair selection in this one, which is really cool, and that's your big expensive. That's the £85 one, which always comes with a massive boat. So there's that one. And if you're into Marvel, you literally have the Avalon Battle Fleet. When I was looking at through these, which ones I would get, the Avalon Battle Fleet has the Avalon Sky Fortress. And if you like Marvel, you probably see the recognition straight away that this looks like the Shield Helicarrier. I just think it looks freaking cool. I really do. I think it's fantastic to have this flying aircraft carrier. It's a nice looking model. It looks really cool, and again, this is a nice big one as well. This is your £60 battle fleet. As always, you get those fair wackanees. You get the Sky Fortress, 2 Agincourt cruisers, but it can be made the Athelstan or Hotspur. Oh, which by the way, I'm just going to say this: Hotspur class. I just thought it's a really fantastic thing, and I've just realised that this might be in relation to the World War II boat, I think it was called the Hotspur, but there was one which was sponsored and paid for by the Tottenham Hotspur fans. And that is World War II, which I just think is really cool. Maybe it's related, maybe it's not, but that just clicked into my head. 2 Excalibur class, 2 Morgana class, 2 Morgana submarines, your SOS tokens, Britain World Rotor, Tintigel Rotor, and your Saxon Scout Rotors. So you get a fair whack in that again. As always, like, you do get a lot in these boxes, and I have very little complaint. These are literally like just massive boxes, but you have so much. This can be pretty much your own army, your fleet, and that's all you need to get. You do get a fair whack to play your game with. And with that, you also have a starter set as well, this ground starter set. I wish they did these for Wild West Exodus. Okay, this stock coming soon, so it's not open yet, but I wish they did this for Wild West Exodus. So basically, you get a decent fleet to go with it, like a starter fleet. In this one, you get a Britannia battleship, 2 frontline cruisers, which can be the Albion, Lancelot, Picton, Belvedere, or Sabre, 2 Caliban frigate, 2 support cruisers, which can be your Agincourt, Athelstan, or Hotspur class, Excalibur, heavy destroyers, Morgana submarines, tokens, rulebook. But that's it. You get the rulebooks, your Victor and Valor deck, your action dice, your critical dice, and everything else you need to play it, which I think is fantastic. It's like, instead of buying a starter set with 2 factions, you're buying a starter set with just the 1 faction that you want to start with. And I think these are always good, and I think these are fantastic, and War Cradle should be highly praised for even doing these. Talking of starter sets, you actually get one with the there's one with the Crown, and that's the Sturginium Skywars ones. One, I'm very tempted to get, either this or the Hunt for Prometheus, but being the Crown and the Imperium, I actually might go this one. It's quite good because the Imperium gets the big boat, big airship, which is really cool. But we are here for the Crown today, so you get lots for them too. Nice look. It's a nice set. Definitely worth getting if you're looking at getting into the game. Again, you get the rules and everything else as well. So that is a quick roundup of the box model reasons you get for dystopian wars. There's lots of cool models. It's the flying vehicles, because I love a good flyer. Always adds a third dimension into every game. The shield helicarrier is pretty much one of my favourite for the Crown. I do like the Avalon battle fleet. Now, there's also one more battle fleet which I should mention before I go, and that is the Britannia battle fleet. But I got a feeling I pretty much was in the starter deck. So yeah, get the starter deck before you get this one. This is not me saying it's bad. It's not that bad, but spend the extra £15, get over everything else on top of this as a decent fleet. So yeah, but those are your 3 battle fleets. You've got the Britannia, the Gloriana, and the Avalon. My ones would be the Avalon or the Gloriana. Get the starter set if you're thinking of getting the Britannia, just to get the rulebooks and all the dice that you need to go with it. So that would be that. Right, that is, of course, Dystopian Wars, which is a boat game, which is fantastic and fun and everything else. And they all look really cool. There's lots of reds and golds, and yeah, I think if you're going from 40k into Dystopian Wars, the Crown is definitely your go-to, because there's a lot of themes and colour schemes and looks which are passing over from the Imperium, which look like, but not passing over, that's not very fair, which kind of look like that. But, you know, the Imperium is based on the British Empire too, so of course there's going to be similarities. I'm not saying anyone's copying anyone, because that's not right. I'm just saying there's similarities, so don't shoot me, right? Because they're both based on the same thing, the British Empire, throughout the Victorian times. Talking of British Empire, we have the Wild West Exodus, which is actually technically Lost World Exodus, but that means really little at the moment. It's the same game. You can use these in Wild West Exodus as they stand under the Outlaws. You have 3 boxes, so getting all the models is going to be pretty cheap. You have the legendary Rani Nimue. I will get back to that one in a second. The Wrath of the Nautilus, which is her ship. Wrath of the Nautilus includes Rani Nimue, Sada Hardit Singh, Charlotte Anning, Neko Mai, Violet Smee, and Erasmus Darwin. Okay, nice little lot of models here. They all look pretty cool. One looks like Catwoman. Gotta say, they look really sweet. I've got to say, they look really nice, and I like the one in her uniform, in her very militaristic uniform. And yeah, looks nice. These are nice looking models, and yeah, it's like this is all you'll need to play Wild West Exodus. It's just this one box. But if you want to add to it, because of course you would, you could get the drum of the Nautilus, which is another nice looking model. It's basically a dreadnought, to be honest with you. It's a nice big walker, and yeah, he looks amazing. He looks like he's like a deep sea diver. He's got that big drum bow sort of diver's suit, you know, and looks fantastic. And I gotta say, this is really cool. I do like it. With his big clippy claws and his spears and pew, pew, pew. He looks like he's gonna hurt lots of people. Yeah, I gotta say, fantastic. Now a Rennie Namu, a legendary Rennie Namu, I should say. I do apologise. What makes her so cool? Wow, here we are. She is fully plastic. Yep, she is a plastic model. And it's fantastic. Look, this is one of the things, like, I will have said recently on Facebook, Twitter, and whatever else. Well, not Twitter, because I just started Twitter, but links down below. That Games Workshop's point at being the best is very much contested. And when I say someone's not the best, doesn't necessarily mean they're the worst. It means they're not the best. And when I say War Cradle models are so hard to beat, really do mean that. They are fantastic looking models. And this legendary Rennie Namu proves that beyond a doubt that how good they can make their models. This is a fantastic looking model. It is so full of detail. You got this massive snake and the water. It's such a fantastic model. And I'm not saying this because I'm looking at it. I'm saying this because I have one. It's such a cool model. It's such a lovely model to build. It's such a lovely model to paint. And honestly, I'm getting her again just so I can use her in my crown posse. Because I'm doing a couple of posses as well as my Union Force. A couple of posses which are just slightly different. So what makes her so special? Well, she has this is the legendary one, by the way. The Treshula of Triton, a refined, special and fatal 2-inch range, which means for a close combat weapon, this actually has a bit of range to it, which is fantastic, and a -3 piercing. She's not that fast. She only has a quickness of 4, but her mind is 6 and her grit is 6. So she was going to make saves on a 4+, which is pretty good. Can't argue with that. She has a power reaction, which adds +1 to the to her grit. So in close combat, she has a grit of 7. So, and you can only get them with her Xeno Shield, which is fantastic. By the way, if you do watches, this is one rule that I keep forgetting. The Xeno Shield is fantastic with a minus, which you can only have a -1 to your grit. So at worst, she's only going to do a minus. She's going to have to need a 5 save. I'm making this really simplistic, alright? So I do apologise. As with the rest of her, like I said, you have Nekomai, which is, well, she looks like Catwoman. She has a grit of 5, a whip 2, and a razor claws, which are brutal and lethal, with a -1 piercing. So, and again, she's a lovely looking model. And one of my favourite ones out of these guys is, God, he looks so cool. I just want to make sure I got the rules up properly for him. Is the big bulky guy, Sardana Hardet Singh. He has a grit of 5. Alright, so he hasn't got a most fantastic grit. He's not that fast, he's 4, but he's a big bulky blokey. And he has a Rotary Harpet, which has a 10-inch range with a -1 piercing, which is fantastic. Yep. He's immune to pain, so the hazard condition has no effect on this unit, which makes him quite beastly as an objective holder. Not one of the best. The best, to be honest with you, is the... at the moment, in my opinion, it's Jocasta for the watches. So there you go. Why should you collect the crown? Fantastic looking models. They have a fantastic plastic model for Wild West Exodus, which is the legendary Randy Singh. And you've got a nice range and decent lore and everything else. And I've got to say, you've got the shield helicarrier, which is great. Can't complain. The crown is a fantastic if you're looking to get Dystopian Wars, it would be a good starting place for that. Would be the Titanium Skies. Well, you get, of course, a nice little battle fleet there, or the starter set as well. You could get both, actually, and sell the Imperium stuff, but Imperium's coming soon. And yeah, so if you wish to continue and collect some stuff for Dystopian Wars, there's Wayland Games down below. Of course, who make it? They are the big guys who, make it via their War Cradle studio. So yeah, but also they do discounts on every other war game if you want to try something which is not Warhammer, which I always suggest you do, because you have a table. It's like having an Xbox and only playing Call of Duty, but only playing Warhammer. So try new things on your table. There is my comic, my merchandise, as always, down below. Artwork done by me, written by me, etc., etc. You hear the fluff from everyone else, so you can hear it from me. And there is Forbidden Planet, which is not comics by me. And finally, my Patreon. But as always, you're going to support the channel either way. I'd rather you get yourself something nice than just giving me money, because, everyone benefits that way, not just me. Have a great day. I'll see you all soon, and goodbye.